Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and I teach sales organizations and leadership teams on how to gain trust and influence with their customers and their team members to generate higher revenues and more profits. Today, let's talk about how we build trust and respect, whether you're in an organization or in a relationship or just friends that you've known for a while. We need to have trust if we're going anywhere with anybody. That's right. As John Maxwell say, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you got to go with other people. So we need to have trust and respect if we're going to do that, right? So we need to make sure that we're doing this to the best of our ability. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 questions we have to answer at every interaction. I'm going to show you how to set yourself up well for those, and by how being intentional, we can actually show respect. Okay? So let's jump into it. The 3 questions are, do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? If we can't answer those 3 questions, guess what's going to happen? No trust, no respect. People are going to move on, because that's ultimately what everybody wants, is to know that they can trust the other people, that they like them, and that they can be helped by them. Now in sales, you got about 7 seconds to start answering those questions. If you don't, they're going to shut the door and they're going to walk out to the competition. In teams and in our organization or our friendships, we need to be answering these as well. And we need to make sure we're showing up correctly. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to do is actually make sure that we're in an environment that's kind of trust building. Don't want to be in an area where there's total chaos going on, bombs going off, bullets flying by, or anything that's going to make anxieties go up. Because once anxieties go up, trust goes out the window. Also need to know what environment we're in. Are we trusting somebody as we go into a burning building because we're firefighters? Or are we just in an office? What are the trust levels needed? By understanding that and having a game plan, we can actually show up correctly. And we need to be likable, so we need to make sure we're in an environment that's conducive of building trust. Whether it's sitting having coffee in a corner talking to somebody, or whether we're sitting in an open area or doing something together with somebody. We need to make sure that we're in the right environment together to actually build trust. So what does that look like? Well, it depends on what you're trying to build trust for. Okay? So we need to make sure that we're in the right environment, but we also need to make sure that we're showing up in the right color clothing. That's right. Colors actually make people triggered. And the different colors actually attribute to different things. Where like whites and light blues actually build trust. Where dark blues and dark reds are power, authoritative, and blacks and dark grays are kind of hiding. We need to make sure that when we're engaging with people and talking with them, when we're trying to build trust, we're actually showing up in the first few interactions in the right colors, which typically is light blues and whites and calming colors. There's a reason why I'm doing a trust video wearing these colors, because they're more calming and relaxing, and they actually work with my complexion. Okay? If I wore everything that was ghost white and I didn't have a tan, well, you probably even wouldn't see me. We need to make sure that we're showing up correctly. So the different colors actually trigger people. The different scents that we wear can also trigger people as well. What do you mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. We actually went and got educated in St. Thomas in a room. It took about 2 hours, about an hour and a half, 2 hours, to actually go through this training. And the different scents go for the different personalities. So if we wear a scent and someone has a different personality, we can actually trigger them. So I typically don't wear different colognes whenever I'm meeting with people. That's right. I actually don't wear any kind of cologne. Now I shower, make sure I smell clean, but I'm not wearing any of my colognes I wear with my wife that she likes, because I don't want to trigger people, especially in sales. We don't want to trigger people. We want to make sure that we're showing up correctly. Now, if you want to get a good education on this, go to your department store. Look at like a Nordstrom's or a Macy's and go into the women's department, then go into the men's and the kids. You'll notice they have different lighting, different sounds, and different scents pumped into those areas. And there's a reason why. You want people calm and spending more time there. Well, having those kind of scents and sounds in the lighting, guess what happens? You get that to work. We need to make sure we're doing that with the people we engage if we want to be likable and start building trust. Now, we need to make sure that we're communicating effectively, matching the style of pace that people have, and if they're really loud, we can match that as well. But we definitely don't want to be like, a northerner talking to somebody in the South. And got a good story about that. When I first started getting into sales and I started moving to Florida and I was actually selling to people in the Panhandle who had a slower pace of speech, and I was from Michigan in the Midwest where I was just speaking really fast. I literally had a guy just said, "Stop, slow down so I can catch up." Not because he was dumb, but because of my speech, my pace of speech was so fast. So I have to make sure that when I'm engaging with people, I'm actually talking and matching their pace. It's called mirroring. We want to make sure that we're flowing with them. So that way they're not triggered. Because again, if we trigger people, trust is not going to grow. We need to make sure that we're hitting that pace, and communicating effectively is something we have to do. Remember, 90% of communication, nonverbal. Yep, that's right. The words you say just mean a little bit. How you say them, the way you say them, that's more important. So we need to focus in on that. Now, we need to answer the third question. How can you help me? Here's the big one. We need to make sure that we're focused in on answering that. And here's why. If we don't answer that, people aren't going to build trust in us and respect and want to work with us. They're just sitting there going, okay, whatever, move on. We need to be intentional. And if we're going to be intentional with people, we need to make sure that we're trying to learn about them. Because if we can't help them and we don't know how to help them, how the heck are you going to help them? Right? So we need to make sure that we're asking questions. What's their situation? What are the issues? What are the ramifications? Those are 3 types of questions we typically ask in sales that you should be asking to anybody you're engaging with. Because if you don't know the situation, you don't know what's going on, how the heck are you going to help them, right? So we need to make sure that we're focused in and being intentional. Now, tons of organizations have CRMs, which are customer relationship management tools that they use for their customers. Why not use that for all of the people we engage with? And that's what I teach in my Trustworthy training on how to use a simple CRM to actually make sure you're engaging people and building trust. We walk through how to build that. That's one component of building trust. You want to populate that so that way you're actually engaging them. And when people see that you're intentionally engaging them, they're going to build trust and respect for you. Now, if you show up and you just kind of don't care about people and you're like, whatever, and you're talking to them while you're staring off over here, you're not going to build trust. I learned all this from Dale Carnegie training, which was a fantastic training. It actually helped me greatly to go in there and learn about people, how to engage them, not to manipulate them, but how to really be intentional on learning about people. If you'd like to do that, go for it. It's a fantastic training. Or pick up the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another great book to understand people. Okay? But by going through and being intentional, answering those 3 questions, those 3 types of questions, you'll be on your way to being able to help people. When we do so, we build trust and respect, and especially in business, when that happens, speed goes up and costs go down. You know what happens? Profits go up. All right? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you like the video, hit like, share, subscribe. Send to somebody that this might help. That's why I do these videos. Okay? We'll see you next time.